The city had become a shadow of itself. Buildings that once hummed with life now lay in ruins, jagged concrete jutting toward the sky like broken teeth. Smoke lingered in the air, thick and choking, while the streets, once familiar, had turned into an alien labyrinth of rubble and ruin. Maya clutched her younger brother, Sammy, close, shielding him from the debris that fell around them. Every distant explosion, every screech of twisted metal, sent jolts of terror through her. Their neighborhood, the place of her happiest memories, was now a deadly maze where the familiar had become foreign, where every corner held an unknown threat. "We can't stop," she whispered, more to herself than to Sammy. "We have to keep moving." Their parents had been taken in the first wave of bombings. Maya had last seen her mother waving from a window, a faint smile that now haunted her dreams. Her father had shouted her name before the building collapsed. The memories tore at her heart, but she had no time for grief. Not now. Not if Sammy was still alive. For days they wandered, surviving on scraps they scavenged from abandoned homes. Stale bread, dusty water bottles, expired canned goods. Each day was a gamble. A sudden explosion could bring the sky down on them. A collapsing wall could end it all. And yet, Maya refused to succumb to despair. Her fear was constant, but so was her determination. They found a partially intact building that offered some shelter. Inside, the air was thick with dust, but at least it was a haven from the chaos outside. Sammy's small hands trembled in hers. "I'm scared, Maya," he whispered. She pulled him close, forcing a smile that felt brittle even to her own lips. "I'm scared too," she admitted. "But as long as we're together, we survive." The days passed slowly. Outside, the city groaned and moaned as fires devoured homes and buildings collapsed. The hum of drones above was constant, and explosions punctuated the silence like a macabre rhythm. Yet even amidst horror, there were flickers of humanity. A neighbor passing a bottle of water through a broken wall, a young man sharing what little food he had, and children playing silently in the shadows, pretending for a few moments that the world wasn't ending. Maya saw fear reflected in every face she passed, yet she also saw courage, a stubborn refusal to surrender. It reminded her that hope was not an abstract luxury. It was survival itself. One night, as the city lay under a blanket of smoke and embers, Maya overheard voices outside. Shadows flitted past the shattered windows, families, like hers, moving cautiously through the ruins. She realized they were not alone. For the first time, she felt a spark of relief. They could survive together. The following day brought a new danger. A heavy shelling that forced Maya and Sammy to dive into a collapsed stairwell. Dust filled their lungs, and Maya's hands were scraped and bleeding as she tried to shield her brother. The world seemed intent on swallowing them whole. Yet when the smoke cleared, they were still alive. After days of careful navigation through the city, Maya spotted a faint glimmer in the distance. A humanitarian convoy, civilians waving white cloths to signal their presence. Her heart leapt. This was the first real promise of safety she had seen in weeks. "We're going," she said to Sammy, gripping his small hand tightly. Through streets littered with destruction they ran. Every explosion threatened to tear them apart. Every shadow seemed to hide death, but they pressed forward. Their fear was a drumbeat. Their hope was a fire. And in that fire, they found courage. They finally reached the convoy. Volunteers embraced them, offered water, blankets, and first aid. Maya sank to the ground, tears streaking her dusty face, as Sammy clung to her side. They had survived. For now. Even as the city smoldered behind them, Maya felt a strange peace. The horrors of the war had scarred them, but they had endured. She held Sammy close and whispered into his hair, We're alive, and as long as we are, hope lives too. And in that moment, beneath the weight of loss and the shadow of war, hope, fragile but unbroken, flickered in the heart of two survivors. The night had been endless, a haunting blur of smoke, fire, and sirens. But finally, the first light of dawn began to pierce the haze. The city, though scarred and silent in many parts, seemed to breathe again. The air smelled of ash, dust, and rain-soaked earth. Maya sat on the edge of the convoy's truck, cradling Sammy in her lap. He had fallen asleep, exhausted and trembling, finally safe for the first time in days. Her own body ached, but the weight of grief had lessened slightly. They had survived when so many others hadn't. She looked around. Families huddled together, strangers sharing what little they had, smiles tentative but real. She realized that amidst the destruction, life stubbornly persisted. Children were playing quietly in the distance, their laughter a fragile echo of a world that once was. A volunteer approached, offering a small packet of food and a bottle of water. Maya accepted, nodding silently. Words felt useless. Everything had been lost, yet everything had changed. The city was no longer just ruins. It was a testament to endurance, to the human will to survive. As the convoy moved toward a safer area, Maya's thoughts drifted back to her parents. She could still see her mother's faint smile and hear her father calling her name. She whispered a silent promise to them that she and Sammy would live, not just survive, but carry their legacy forward. Hours later, they arrived at a makeshift shelter. Tents lined the open space, fires burning for warmth, and volunteers moving swiftly between families. Maya and Sammy were given blankets, food, and a place to rest. For the first time in weeks, Maya allowed herself to breathe fully, letting the tension leave her body in slow, shuddering waves. That evening, as the sun dipped behind the skeletal outlines of destroyed buildings, Maya stepped outside the tent. She saw people helping one another rebuild, children drawing pictures in the dirt, laughter returning in hesitant bursts. It was a fragile hope, but it was real. Sammy tugged at her hand. Maya, will it ever be like before? She knelt, taking his small face in her hands. Maybe not exactly, she said softly, but it can be something new, something better. We have each other, and as long as we do, there is hope. The city's skyline was a jagged silhouette against the setting sun, a scar that would never fully heal. Yet beneath the rubble, life had taken root again. Maya understood that survival was not just a matter of escaping death. It was about choosing to carry hope forward, even when all else seemed lost. As night fell, she held Sammy close and whispered into the darkness. We've endured, we're still here, and tomorrow we begin again. The camera of her mind lingered on that moment. The end of fear, the beginning of healing. Even amidst devastation, even after unbearable loss, the human spirit refused to surrender. And in that truth, Maya found a light that no war could ever extinguish.